Welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas Rotary Club. This year's Rotary theme, as you can see here in front, is making a difference. And our club is certainly living up to that ideal. Let me tell you what we did in just the past 7 days. Last Thursday and Friday, after the worst mass tragedy in our nation's history, our club identified a project, distributed information through our website and social media channels, raised funds, and have since paid for the funerals of 3 victims. We will continue to pay for more as we receive more funds. On Saturday, 3 of our members helped build a house in Tecate, Mexico, where our club sponsored 3 Interact clubs to attend the Southern Nevada Interact Symposium. Also on Saturday, our club was part of the largest car show in our city's history, raising over $22,000 for the victims of the Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. On Sunday, past President Randy Campanelli called me 3 times, strategizing and asking what more we can do to help the Route 91 victims. Then, after our talk on Sunday, past President Randy picked up our first check, met with Larry Rouse for his signature, and then dropped off the check to Major Randy Kinnaman for our first funeral payment. On Monday, we sent an additional check for funeral payments, draining our account every day to help those most in need. Additionally, on Monday, Tony Kern sent the scribe notes, and Bill and Jenny Houghton started working on the wheel program, which you have before you today. While past President Karen Wisenhunt organized for our club to donate 10 wheelchairs to the Easter Seals in 2 weeks' time to supplement what they lost in their recent burglary. Also on Monday, Melanie Muldowney approved a $10,000 grant from our club to do an international project in Bangladesh to help acquire dialysis machines for a local hospital. On Tuesday, our Speakers Chair, Sidra Kane, confirmed the speaker for the first week of April. That's right, our first available speaker slots are now in April 2018. Also on Tuesday, Rosalie Hedrick and Janet Linder invited 3 guests to become members of our club, while simultaneously updating the orientation handbook and planning the ceremony next week. This, of course, was after our Breakfast with Books event we had earlier that morning at Beckley Elementary. Yesterday, final touches were being applied to the Wine to Water event, while Jamie Goldsmith finalized our holiday party menu, Rob Tejas provided feedback on a gubernatorial proclamation for World Polio Day, and PDG Rampur continued his work to launch an international Rotary action group. Additionally, we sent a check for $3,446 to help with relief efforts for the victims of Hurricane Harvey yesterday. Returning from his cruise, past President Tom Krob also sent proposed revisions to our club constitution, bylaws, and resolutions on Wednesday. And today we'll continue our efforts to donate 1 million cans of food to the Salvation Army through our canned food drive, and we'll kick off our pledges to clothe another 335 children through our Santa Claus program. My name is Michael Gordon, and even though I say it every week, your service to the community makes me proud to say that I can serve as the 95th president of the greatest Rotary Club in the world. Our invocation today will be Francesca Gilbert.
Thank you, President Michael. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians, guests, friends, family. I'm not sure how I follow that because I'm not sure that really needs an invocation, so I'll be very, very short. Last Monday, I woke up to a text from my friend Jordana that said, thank you, Jim, at 5:15 that said, in case you see the news, I'm safe. I'm okay. I'm in the Tropicana, but I'm okay. Of course, I was asleep, so I hadn't seen the news. I immediately tried calling, couldn't get through, went online, figured out what happened, finally got through to her, and you can imagine relief when I found out that she was indeed safe. And it's really made us reflect on everything that's happened over the past week in our personal lives and in everything else. So today, what I really wanted to just do is just talk about, or just read a quote. And it's very simple. Bad things do happen in the world, like war, natural disasters, disease. But out of those situations always arise stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I think what President Michael just talked about is the ultimate examples of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. This room is filled with what people would call ordinary people. And I'm going to put before you that maybe we are ordinary people, but together we are even more powerful at doing extraordinary things. So to the Las Vegas Rotary Club, to the Friends family, to everyone else here, I salute you. I offer this prayer, and I just think that if we go forward the rest of the week, the month, the year in our lives, knowing that we have the power within us to be extraordinary, that the world better look out. Thank you all very much.
Ooh, now I found you. And to lead us in song, Ted McAdam.
Thank you, President Michael. I'd like to share a surreal moment with you, if you don't mind. I wasn't here last week. I left on Wednesday. I flew out to Colorado Springs for the 50th reunion of my graduation from the Air Force Academy. In the airport, David, you probably saw it. In the airport, sitting there Wednesday afternoon, it was eerily quiet. Thousands of people transiting, almost nobody talking. And then you hear the sobs of people waiting to fly home after the experience they went through the Sunday night and Monday before. Got to Colorado Springs, socked in. We had to go around and then land at a different runway. Couldn't see the mountains. If you know anything about Colorado, the Rampart Range is one of the most beautiful ranges in the country, the eastern slope of the Rocky Mountains. Thursday morning, I got up and I looked west. Pikes Peak, the entire range was open, one of the most beautiful sights one can ever see. And it brought to mind that even in the midst of the tragedy of the fires in Northern California that we're experiencing now, the tragedy that Sunday night, the pure picture of evil, there is a beautiful land with beautiful people. And I thought perhaps America the Beautiful would be what we should sing. And listen to the words. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruitful plains. America, America, God shed his grace on you, on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Let's sing America the Beautiful as a prayer. Oh, beautiful.
For purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
God bless America.
Thank you, Ted. Now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Thank you. You may be seated. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Deb Granda. And Deb, you are going to run around today. So when you are ready, we are looking to introduce some international visiting Rotarians.
I am ready, President Michael.
We have one international. Well, go to Bob Warner first, and then he will handle it.
I was not aware.
He is just signing in.
Oh, okay. Okay, follow me over here. I think there's a seat. Where do we have a seat for this gentleman?
Bob, let him introduce himself, and then we can
Okay.
work on that.
Go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I am Anirudh Nakhwa from India, Mumbai, Rotary District 3140. I'm here to attend the meeting and exchange the flags. Ours is a very, very baby club. It's just formed last year, and we are hoping to meet people around the world and doing some good jobs in our country.
Thank you.
Thank
There's
you.
pause and smile for a photo.
We got a flag that we like
And
to
then-
have you take home. And then he's got a flag for us.
Okay. The pause and smile. Okay, while they're doing that, we're moving on to any other international visiting Rotarians.
Okay, I'm going to try.
Any other international?
No? Okay,
No other
then
internationals.
that's it. And then moving on to visiting Rotarians. Any visiting Rotarians? Nobody? Okay, then let's move on to guests of Rotarians and start right here with Mr. Hunt.
Hi, I have
Both
a late
Mr.
arriving
Hunt.
guest. He's been here before. Everybody pretty much knows my brother John. I just want to welcome him to our club. Thanks.
I'll take the mic for a moment and introduce my guests. I have my friend and colleague Paul Nimsawan and his wife Ta. Paul came to me yesterday and said, I'm looking for something to do to help out in the community. And I said, I'll see you at lunch tomorrow. So please help me welcome Paul and Ta.
Okay, and then behind you, there's guests there. No, behind you, there was a guest there.
Hi, I'm happy to have Julia Kasprick, our new catering sales executive, here with me today.
Hi, good afternoon, Rotarians. Past President Dave Thorson here. I'd like to introduce Mike Powers. He's an old-time friend of mine. He's been a longtime supporter of our Santa Claus program, both monetarily and with services, and has been to a number of highway cleanups. And he works for Nationwide Agribusiness. Welcome, Mike.
Over here.
Hello, everyone. I have 3 guests. They are from Oglethorpe, Inc. We have Pat Tracy, Brianna Atkins, and Veronica Scalia.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I'm Tom Krob, and I have my guest today is Mike Marchese. Mark is the director of the Boy Scouts.
Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen Wisenhunt, and I'm so proud to introduce my guest today, who's very embarrassed, and it's my last chance to embarrass my beautiful granddaughter. This is what Marines look like. She's off to boot camp in 2 weeks.
Eat up, Megan, and good luck with boot camp, but eat all the dessert today.
Good afternoon, Kim Naoni. Today I have a pleasure of hosting my dad, who's visiting all the way from Tanzania. So I thought I'll drag him here to see what we do here every Thursday afternoon. So this is CJ.
Any other guests? Then let me introduce my guest. And the reason my guest today is the principal of Beckley Elementary, Shannon Brown. It's not often that you get to call the principal to the principal's office. That's what I did by having her at the head table. So her first teaching experience was in Tokyo, Japan, and Beckley is her first assignment as principal. She is a smart lady because she has 4 college degrees, and one of those is in theater performance, which explains why she's been known to take a normal, typical conversation and connect it to an existing song, and then to sing that song to the person using a pen as a microphone. So to those at the head table, maybe it's going to be a fork today that she's going to use as a microphone, but enjoy that. And then I know we have one final guest, and that's in the back, Bob Barnard.
In case you don't know, my name is Robert, but you can call me Bob Barnard. And I have been cautioned on my birthday that I'm supposed to pause and smile. On my birthday, I was cautioned to do things very quickly because...
Same now.
Because that guy over here said that I was competing with him. That one, yeah. He said I talk too much. And again, today is, of course, stand up, please, my wife's 10th visit to this club in a meeting. She comes once a year in October because this time it's because yesterday was our 44th anniversary. Normally, she comes and Karen gets after her immediately, trying to tell her what I should go buy for her. So this year I went on the internet and I found two things. The first one said, what was it? Oh, take her grocery shopping. That was for 44 years. And the second one said automation. So there's no sound from that.
It's coming.
Oh, it is? Okay. Better start it over. It's only 61 seconds long. Gee, I wonder who that is. Why, thank you. I must have done a good job. Bye.
Thank you. Now, please join me in welcoming all our visiting Rotarians and guests. I know we don't have a birthday table. You can sit for 30 seconds. I know we don't have a birthday table, and I read everything that our club did just in the past 7 days, and there were so many emails and so many calls. But there is one person whose birthday specifically I would like to highlight, because everything I read could not happen without this person. So if you don't know this yet, it is Sean Noorda's birthday on Monday. And we're all going to sing and wish her a happy birthday right now.
And this is for you, Sean. Come here. Come here. Come here. Right up here in the middle. Come on, beautiful. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thanks.
I probably talk to her 4 times a day. Some days I talk to her more than I talk to my wife. So I had to have caller ID on my phone before Amanda starts asking who's calling you all the time. So thanks, Sean. Thanks for all your help, not just for me, but for the whole club. Okay, Sergeant Deb Granda, back into action. First, let's go over here to our reality TV star, Ryan Hamilton, to tell us quickly what you did on Saturday and how much money was raised for the GoFundMe campaign.
Okay, better? Okay. On about Wednesday of last week, a car club president came to us and said, we really want to have a car show to raise money for the victims. I said, okay, well, where do you want to have it? He's like, I don't know. I said, okay, well, we'll have it at Celebrity Cars. And then within 24 hours, we had 300 cars signed up. And I said, well, it's not happening at Celebrity Cars anymore. So I called our friend who's the general manager of the M Resort, and I said, hey, do you guys want to have a car show here? And he's like, yes. So within another, 12 hours, we were sitting in the boardroom of the M with 12 of their executives, and they just said, we don't care what it costs, let's do this. We're donating everything. We're donating bar sales. We're donating everything. So by the end of the day on Saturday, we had raised about $22,000 from just the door and the raffle, and then another 8 or so thousand in bar sales, and then the M Resort actually doubled it. So we actually were well over 50,000. So it was an unbelievable day. We had about 800 cars, which was, we had an overflow lot of another 300 cars because the main lot only fit 500 cars. So, what else? Is that it? I'm done. I'm done here. Okay.
You're getting the hook.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Can I just thank Tom and Karen Wisenhunt, because Karen called me and she's like, hey, want to help? She ended up pretty much having everyone hand her the $20 from all 800 cars that came through the door, and she wasn't even signed up to do anything. So I really want to thank her again.
Is past President Brock Fraser here? Then let's take it to Paul Kruger. Paul, where are you? Do you want to give us an update on Ty Hilbrecht?
Before coming to today's meeting, I stopped by it's new. Kindred. Okay. So I've been trying to visit him every week. I missed last Thursday, but I can say that I've seen improvements for the last 3 visits that I have seen him. So in the past 4 weeks, he is doing better. I'm not so sure we'll see him at our club again, but compared to how he was when I first saw him, he's much better now. So, and thanks everyone for your prayers. I think it helps.
Thanks, Paul. And then over here to the back to Howie Hopkinson, because we haven't heard how it went for our United Way Day of Caring.
Hello, fellow Rotarians. Just an update. We did the Project Beautify Bridger Middle School with the United Way, and I feel it was a success. I felt it restored some pride in the school. If you guys don't know the history of it, it's one of the oldest schools in town. There's about 1,500 kids at the school, so it's overpopulated. Basically what we did is they don't have enough lockers to service all the children in the school, so they're just not being used. So we cleaned the lockers and painted the lockers to help acknowledge the STEAM program that's part of their school, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and medical. And basically it was a success. The kids and the faculty were extremely grateful for our help. We headed up with Dave Lester, Karen Wisenhunt, Aaron Campillo, myself. We were able to raise about another 20 volunteers to come help us out. So it was a great event and grateful to be part of it.
Thank you. Thanks for helping there. And then back over here to, I know I'm going to regret this, but past President Russ Swain to give us feedback on the tailgate party, the UNLV tailgate party. How did that go?
All righty. You're going to give me the microphone already this early in the year? Come on. Anyway, hey, for all of you that came out to the tailgate, thank you. We had a great participation. I think we had over 50, Anil. And thank you, Anil. He provided a fabulous meal. It's unlike our past tailgates where we used to have burnt burgers and some hot dogs. Anil puts out a spread that is very impressive. And, you know, he donates most of that or a lot of that. I'm going to tell you, whatever he does a lot. And he sets it all up. It's great. I pull out my RV and I don't have to do nothing. So we had a bunch of other member clubs show up. So we had a great time. UNLV won. It was really fun. So, yeah, we plan on doing it again next year.
Thank you. Thank you, Past President Russ. And then if you could take it, is Kirk Alexander here? No, then I see Jerry Senes. Jerry, oh, he is here. Okay, Kirk, you want to tell us about Super Build?
I want Jerry to talk about it a little bit too. We built a house for a family that consisted of 5 people. It took about 1,500 of community service hours for this lady to qualify for having the house built for her. There's an exchange of how we start this project to when we end it that I've included in that process of closing that includes teenagers. So I've had some teenagers that actually that have been part of the build that actually hand off the keys to the new family. So we're trying to get involved with getting the youth involved in the projects, not only with our Interact activities and our TLC activities in RILA, but the students that come or the kids that come have been encouraged to get involved in TLC as well. There's some people that drove a long way. It was a 7-hour trip for me just to get to San Diego that Friday afternoon, and everything went off without a hitch. We had great weather. Nobody got hurt, and it was a very successful build. We did get it completely finished. Jerry did join us. He and David Squire were there with me, and I think that David Squire is one hell of a builder. That boy goes to work, and he never stops. Anyway, it was a good build, and we'll do it again in the spring. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Now I'm going to invite up Principal Shannon Brown, and she's going to give us an update on what's happening at Beckley.
Thank you, President Gordon, and thank you so much for the very honorable seat sitting up here at the front. It's very exciting. I did get scolded a little bit, as a principal should, right? So as I begin, our Breakfast with Books is going strong. We had over 300 families, students, all coming and participating on Tuesday, which was amazing. You have no idea how much we really do appreciate all of your support. And I'm going to introduce my amazing assistant principal, the lovely Cheryl Troop. See, that's what theater does. You know when to smile and stop, and then when not to blink. So I'm introducing her because she's going to talk to you guys about our upcoming Harvest Festival.
On October 20th, we are having the biggest fundraiser for our school for the year, and we do need volunteers. So if you're able to come out that evening and help us out, that would be great. You can just call the school, and they can give you information on how to help for that evening. We also are in great need of bags of candy for the student prizes at the various activities that they're going to be doing that night. So if that's something that you're able to do, we sure would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Next up, I would like to call to the front Rosalie Hedrick for a special presentation. And while she's coming to the front, I'm going to call to the front Dale Sprague, Kim Nioni, and Teresa Petranovich.
Okay, welcome everyone. We'd like to take this time to introduce to the club our new members. So I'm going to read our script that we have for inducting them into the club, and Michael is going to hand them their plaques and pin them. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Las Vegas, it is my privilege to induct a new member today. Please allow me to introduce Kim, Dale, and Teresa to our club. And their sponsors are Michael for Kim, Sharon McNair for Dale, and Francesca for Teresa. No. You have been invited to membership, and our Rotary has accepted you as a person of good character, high ethical standards, a person who has the heart of service and will represent our club in the Las Vegas and Rotary communities. We encourage you to learn all you can about Rotary and to actively participate in the opportunities that our club has to serve those in need. Our Rotary motto, service above self, is the essence of our gathering. The members of our Rotary people who believe that world, understanding, and peace can be improved through people united in the cause of service. Today, you are one of those people. We extend to each of you a sincere and hearty welcome to the Las Vegas Rotary Club and the Worldwide Fellowship of Rotary International. Please rise and welcome our newest Rotarians into our family.
Okay, pause and smile for the photo. Sure. Welcome, new Rotarians. And we literally have no time for a break. So, Madam Sergeant, if you can jump back in and take the microphone to past President Jim Hunt.
Thank you, President Michael. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, it's my honor to announce the kickoff of one of the most beloved and successful community service projects in the 94-year history of the Rotary Club of Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, we officially begin the 22nd annual Santa Claus program. In just a moment, you'll see a video about Santa Claus, but first, here's a bit of the program's history for our new members and guests. Many of us here today can remember the very first Santa Claus program when 35 kids and the same number of Rotarians shopped for shoes, clothing, before they were transported to the Desert Inn Hotel and Casino showroom for lunch and some entertainment and gifts. Since 1996, the program has steadily grown. In 2001, we were able to exceed the 100 children served benchmark. In 2004, 200 children served. And in 2009, 300 children served. What was once a committee member of 1 has now become a main Santa Claus committee of 9 with this year's edition of Santa Claus committee member Chris Bennett. We also now have hundreds of Rotarians from a record 11 Southern Nevada Rotary clubs taking part in what is for many, if not all of us, the most anticipated Rotary event of the year. So all that's left to do now is to simply ensure that every one of you in this room, your family members, your business associates, your employees, and your trusted friends will again answer the call for help by sponsoring funds and by giving just a little bit of your time to shop for shoes and clothing with a child in need. And when you do, we'll have upwards of 800 people taking part in what is now the Santa Claus program of today. Every dollar pledged to Santa Claus never leaves the Santa Claus program. All funds go directly into a restricted account to ensure that pledges for Santa Claus are only used specifically for the Santa Claus program. Each donation of $100 sponsors a child in need. However, if you're unable to sponsor one or more children, your donation of any size, large or small, is of course critical to our continued success. With that in mind, please take a look at the overview of Santa Claus program, and then I'll give you some statistics on our achievements to date and some specifics on this year's event, and be happy to answer any questions you might have. So if you would, Captain Kirk, fire away. Santa Claus has now become a very large program that serves the needs of children throughout the Las Vegas Valley. Our goal is to provide winter clothing, shoes, and socks to children who don't have them. There are children in this valley that come to our program to shop with our Rotarians and volunteers that literally have holes in their shoes. And when we first started, there was only 35 kids that shopped with us. And in this last year, we had 317 children shopping at 3 malls simultaneously. It's a program that not only provides clothing, however, it also provides mentoring through our Rotarians and volunteers their family members and co-workers shopping with the kids, helping to guide them to make good purchases for winter clothing. Rather than one large purchase, they can buy several pairs of pants, let's say, and a jacket and some shoes and socks.
Good. Good eye. Good eye. Okay, let's go try them on.
And after that's done, the mentoring continues over at UNLV, where we have football players, soccer players, cheerleaders out on the field. They play on the sports field for about an hour. And after that, they're brought into the lead auditorium, where they're given a lunch. They're also given a talk by usually the UNLV president welcomes them with a couple of nice talks from various guest speakers. And then after that, we give them a choice of a soccer ball, basketball, or a football on the way out of their mornings. So our goal is to first and foremost clothe them for winter, but also give them an experience that they'll remember for a long time.
We got a pair of shoes, a lot of shoes, socks, new shoes. I bought some shoes too. Sweatshirts, some sweatpants, sweats. I got some pajamas, a jacket. I bought a dress. I'm gonna wear it on Christmas. Some plaid shirts because I like plaid stripes, and the hat.
And a Spider-Man jacket.
Yeah. Even has a hoodie.
That's the excitement that these kids feel of getting new clothes for the first time in many cases.
For them to come to JCPenney is a big day for them.
This is awesome. I've never been to JCPenney's before.
But these children, some of them, have never shopped for anything new before. This is, in many cases, it's their first new pair of shoes, their first new pair of pants, their first anything new. So we're giving them experiences not only for shopping, but the interaction between Rotarians trying to do good in the community and mentoring them.
This guy I met, she is the most probably sweetest girl with the best manners. I've never seen somebody her age. She's 10. You would never know she was 10 because she has the best manners. And she has this style and taste from her older sister. Her sister's 18. And she really knew what she wanted, and she got to pick a lot of things that she enjoyed.
I heard this one kid saying, I hate being here, but at the end of the day, I heard him saying, I love being here with my circle.
We had a Rotarian a couple of years ago that had sadly recently lost his father. And he really didn't have the Christmas spirit, he had told me, going into the program. But he went to Santa Claus because he knew it was important to help the kids. And after he was done shopping and the night of our Christmas party, he came up to me, and it was like he had almost been, reborn, if you will. He was so heartwarmed with the little girl that they shopped with, and he said it helped him to get through the passing of his father. The experience really is not only for the children, it's for the Rotarians themselves to experience what giving back to the community can be, and it's a direct, instant gratification when you see the smiles on those children.
It's those smiles at the end of the day that they warm your heart and bring a tear to your eye. To me, it's better than Christmas Day. It's the best day of the year.
Well, this guy told me that the best part of her day was sharing it with me so far. It made me feel wonderful. It was really sweet.
It just makes me feel very fortunate for my family and so lucky that I can help some other children out.
I tell you, it makes you feel great. And we talk about Rotary, this is what it's all about. This is great.
Makes us feel, anything that we have wrong in our house, it's insignificant because this is what it's all about.
That Rotary Club, one of the students said on the bus on the way here, that Rotary Club really loves us, don't they? And I said, yes, they do.
This little girl, toward the end of our shopping day, said to me, she says, thank you very much. This is really great. And she looked very concerned. And she said, why would you do this for me? I said, because you matter to us.
So here are a few items of note. Mark your calendars for Thursday, December 7th. Check-in at the JCPenney stores begins at 7 a.m. as always. That'll be again at the Grand Canyon, the Meadows, and the Galleria Malls JCPenney stores. There'll be no weekly meeting that week, and we have the Christmas party that evening. I'd also like to announce 4 new partners in our events this year. For the first time, we'll be partnering with the Dean Peterson Elementary School, Ruby Thomas Elementary School, the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, and the Southwest Rotary Club. I'll leave you with this. In 1996, 35 kids, as I said, took part with a budget of $3,500. Last year, we served 323 children with a budget of $89,000. And today, it gives our committee great pride to announce that with the additions that I've just mentioned, we're taking a major leap by inviting an all-time record of 364 at-risk kids to take part in the Santa Claus program. And as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we expect goods and services purchased for these needy kids to top an incredible milestone of $1 million, as Michael wanted me to say. $1 million this year, hopefully. So please pledge as much as you can and plan on experiencing the joy of helping others by signing up with us to shop on December 7th, on the Thursday. Your financial support and your time are the elements that make this possible or not. It's all up to you. We look forward to seeing you soon. And at this time, I'd like to ask Francesca Gilbert to come up for a quick presentation. She's going to kick things off. As many of you know, Francesca decided a few years ago that she's going to support Santa Claus throughout the year. For every sale that her company makes, she sets aside money for Santa Claus. And this year, her check to us to get things started is?
This year we're going to do $2,600.
$2,600 to start things off. Please thank her for us. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Francesca. There you go. We'll leave that for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you, Jim. Moving on, Janice Linke. Talk about the wheel ad space in our diminishing time.
Yes, there is still one spot on page 6. It's all colorful with a price tag of $300. Please, we need to fill that spot. It just makes the wheel look lopsided.
Thank you. Two spots left. Okay. Past President Karen, I'm going to skip you in the interest of time. Captain Kirk, talk about the Oh, I'm supposed to do something.
Gosh. So Halloween is coming. What's that? Yeah, wardrobe change. Because Michael hasn't eaten yet. And he's obviously very, very, very hungry. He's nothing but skin and bones. Nice. Yes. So the Halloween, we're raising money for our canned food drive. And so in order to do so, we're actually throwing an event. And it's going to be October 27th at the distillery. Anil has donated, just like with the tailgate party, all the food. And back in the day when this club started, we focused on 100% participation. And that was like 100% participation going to a district assembly, 100% participation in terms of every member being a Paul Harris Fellow. And so that's what we tried to do with this. So we're asking for 100% participation from every single member of the club. And if every single member donates $50, we will hit our goal of reaching $10,000, which will buy a lot of cans for Salvation Army. Now, the event is free, so whether you donate or not, come to the event. A lot of other organizations are marketing the event. We're going to have a whole bunch of awesome raffle prizes to raise money from members outside of this club. But again, please show up for the event. We're going to have a costume contest, and please donate. If every single member, again, donates $50 to the canned food drive, we will hit our goal. So thank you.
Thank you. So next up, Melanie Muldowney, construction. I'm just going to announce there is a construction on October 17th. Rosalie Hedrick, I'm going to take yours too. There's new member induction on Tuesday, October 17th at Steve and Janet Linder's house. And then if you can give it to either Janice or Jamie for the wine to water, or Stu Lipoff, wine to water.
We're sold out. Thank you to everybody who's joining us.
Thank you. Wine to water is sold out. Moving on, Jerry Senes to talk about the highway cleanup.
This Saturday, 8 a.m. across from Bonnie Springs. I'm having a brunch at my house afterwards. Please join us.
So highway cleanup this Saturday, 8 a.m. at Bonnie Springs. We do have some quick time for a fine that I have to get in because this person never shows up. If you could take it over to Russell Price. I mean, this is the first time I've seen you, sir, all year.
Don't
So-
make me tell stories about the hike and how we had to carry you up the mountain and stuff like that.
I'm just going to say, I heard you took this long, arduous trek, and you helped other Rotary members complete the trek, but you were up in front. So how many miles was that, and how far did you walk? So what did you do?
I don't remember.
You may as well say something because it's going to
I lost
cost
a
you some
toenail over it,
dollars.
if that means anything. So
Yeah, so I think it was about 24 miles, right?
something like that.
Yeah, so, and there were 3 of you?
You included.
Me? So who was the one, so who were the 3, and who was the one who was holding the group back?
Well, let's not judge. There was myself, Dave Lester, and you, of course, and it was a beautiful day. It started out in a beautiful morning, and the hike through, and we did what we were supposed to do. We made it to the top.
Okay, so let me just say that Russ Price, Dave Lester, and myself did the rim-to-rim hike, and Russ Price disappeared on Dave Lester and myself. He just ran ahead, and Dave Lester and myself, Dave basically had to carry me to the finish line, but we got there. So Russ led the way. Russ made sure there was no snakes in our way. So thank you, Russ, for your $240 contribution to our foundation.
Very welcome.
And then Dave Adamson, or Dan Adamson, are you here? Yeah, Dan Adamson. Sir, I have a picture here that I'll be happy to circulate that says that TPC Summerlin would like to congratulate Dan Adamson as some sort of champion in some sort of sport. I don't know exactly what.
I played 2 good rounds of golf and won the club championship. So,
yeah.
Good for me, anyway.
So some champions here in the house. So next time we have a scramble or anything, we should invite you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, thank you for your $95 donation to our foundation. So in the interest of time, I'm sorry, we got to move on. So ticket drawing, I'm going to read both numbers. So first number is 4620. 888-4620. Going once. Okay, Jackie Thorneal. You get $50 for the A's, but thank you. I don't have it, so you got to see Sean on the way out. And then for the Lowry Bucks, we have 4711. Oh, our golf champion over here for the Lowry Bucks, Dan Adamson. Thank you, sir. Pause. And then to introduce our guest speaker, I would like to call to the front Rob Tejas.
Hello, folks. I'll make this nice, sweet, and short. So I've got the pleasure to introduce Mr. Raymond Hess, who is the Director of Planning over at RTC. So you all have his bio in front of you. You can read all about his success to date. Now, I did ask him a couple of personal things, just so you all can kind of, see how nice a guy he really is. So he is married. He's got a 6-year-old daughter. He and his family enjoy traveling in their off time. They just got back from Alaska. But even cooler than that, you'll see on his bio that he was in the Peace Corps for a couple of years. He actually met his wife in Africa during his trip in the Peace Corps. So if you would, again, great information. Please go ahead and welcome Mr. Raymond Hess.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, President Michael, for having me here today. First of all, let me assure you that I do own another set of clothes, aside from the fact that in my bio picture it's like the exact same thing I'm wearing today. So don't worry about the Santa Claus thing. I'm doing all right. But I just want to thank you all for everything you're doing. I mean, that was incredible, just what has happened over this past week and just all the good you're doing in the community. So I'm just blown away. So congratulations to you all. Kudos to you. Keep up the good work. It's definitely something we need in the community. So thank you. So what we're going to talk about today is a major initiative that the RTC has going on called Onboard Your Future Transit Plan. And I want to really emphasize the word Your Future Transit Plan. This is not something that we're doing behind closed doors in a vacuum. We definitely want to hear from the community, which is why we're out here today talking to you. We're also at other public engagement events, and at the end of this presentation, I'll give you a website where if you have places you'd like us to come present to, please inform us. So to kind of set the context for why we think this is important, I'm going to start you off with a fun little video. And I guess first one to name what movie it comes from, sounds like has to make a donation. Sounds like that's a running theme. So let's start with this here. Oops, takes a second to load. Oh, it hasn't even started yet, and we got office space. Okay. So how much of a donation does that add up to? I don't know. $95, President Michael says. All right, let's get... No, it's supposed to load automatically. All right, so the point of that video, just to close your eyes and imagine it with me, okay? Close your eyes. There was a lot of congestion, and this guy was stuck in traffic. He gets frustrated. He moves over to the other lane. The lane he was just in moves by him. There's a gentleman in a walker that ends up walking past him while he's stuck in traffic. And ultimately, what I'm going to tell you in just a second is, there's going to be a lot of growth that this region is still going to experience. And we think that finding transportation solutions that fit everyone's needs is going to be an important consideration. So that's part of the first part of our discussion is the amount of growth that's expected to occur, not only in terms of residents, but also visitors. And then we also want to talk about how transit solutions can be part of the mobility of the valley and why that's going to be an important consideration for us moving forward. Obviously, there's still going to be people driving, and we're putting a lot of investment into roads. There are going to be people walking and biking, and we have plans for that as well. But today's focus is really going to be on transit. And then the other part, too, is we're looking to the future as well. We don't want to kind of look backwards to figure out where we're going. We want to look forward. And there's a lot of new technology out there in the industry that might influence some of these recommendations, and I'll talk briefly about that as well. So if you're not familiar with the RTC, we're pretty much all things transportation to the valley. Many of you know us as the transit provider, so we run the buses. But what you may not know is we are a pass-through agency for different funding sources. So on the roadway planning and funding, we get both local sales tax and gas tax that we redistribute to the local jurisdictions, and we also get federal gas tax that we redistribute to the jurisdictions, so the cities and the county. So a lot of the road building that you see in the community passes through our agency before it's actually implemented by the cities and the county. We're also the traffic management center. So this is, traffic signal coordination, the ramp meters, the red and green lights that you see before you get on the freeway, the dynamic message signs on the freeway that tell you if there's a crash up ahead or, 10 minutes to the next interchange. And then the last thing is we are Southern Nevada Strong. And if you're not familiar with Southern Nevada Strong, it's a sustainability initiative that was spearheaded by the city of Henderson back in 2011 through 2015. When that planning was done, it was handed over to the RTC to help administer. And there are 300 plus strategies on how to make our valley stronger. They are not all to be done by the RTC. They have things to do with education, housing, transportation, environmental stewardship. So we're just kind of the chief shepherd of that process. We're working with partners across the valley to make sure that we have a sustainable future, especially when it comes to economic development and education and all of those different things. So let's just talk for a moment, kind of set the stage about the growth and demand. The first is, anyone know approximately how many people live in the Las Vegas Valley? 2.5? Yeah, 2.1. Yeah, 2.1 million is right about where we are in terms of our population. According to some projections, in about 10 years, what do you expect us to be? 3? Not quite that high, but 2.7. 2.7 by about 2025 is what the projections are. To put that into a little bit of context, the city of Henderson population is about 300,000. It's about 285,000. So just imagine in the next 10 years adding the population of 2 more city of Hendersons to our overall population. And just think about the demand that that's going to put on our transportation network. Similarly, how many visitors do we have to the valley? 43 million, right? So we have 43 million people that come to our valley annually. In about 10 years, what do we expect that to be? Yeah, 53 actually, so another 10 million. So this is kind of a back of the napkin sketch, but we estimate that MGM hosts about 1 million visitors per year, based on how many average room nights and how many rooms they have. And so that would be like having to build like 10 more MGM Grands to house all the people that would be coming as visitors. So just to kind of give some perspective in terms of the growth that this area is expected to continue to see. Now this map, you don't have to pay attention to the particulars, but what's important about this map is the red shows the highest concentrations of where people live and or where they work. Okay, so density, right? So this is where people are living or where they're working. And what you might probably expect is right around the strip, you see the highest concentrations, especially in terms of employment, right? So right there in the middle, that's the Las Vegas Boulevard, surrounded by the airport, surrounded by, downtown Las Vegas. So it's probably what we would expect. This is where most people are living and or working. But what's important is if we project out into the future, and we have complex computer models that help us with this, and we work with our local partners to do this, if we look into the future, all those people that we just talked about, where are they going to live, where are they going to be? We see that we have kind of a densification of our valley. We're seeing more density start to fill in, if you will. Many of you are probably aware that we're constrained by growing outward because we have a lot of federal land that surrounds us. And so instead of growing out, we're going to have to grow up. Right? And so ultimately this map helps illustrate that you all of a sudden start to see concentrations of people in the north, in the southeast, in the west, and you kind of see where what was a single line of red before in 2015 has now kind of radiated outward. So I'll just scroll back and forth one time just so you can see 2015 to 2040. Now, this is an important consideration for us because this is really where there's a lot of transportation demand, right? This is where people are living and or where they're working, and they need to get to and from those destinations. This is one of our primary focal points for how we would plan a future transit system. So to give you a little bit of context in terms of what the RTC does today, we currently carry 140,000 residential passenger trips per weekday, or we also call those boardings. So I always like to joke that's one person getting on the bus 140,000 times, or it's 140,000 people getting on the bus one time, or something in between, right? And so that's a lot, actually. If you project that out, that equates to several tens of millions of people a year that actually are using our bus, or at least boarding the bus in terms of boardings. The other thing that's important to note is that our bus system serves an important function for our economy. 85% of the people who use our bus system are using it to get to and from work. Additionally, 40% are also using it for recreational, educational, retail, and medical purposes as well. So that's what our local population is doing. So these are the routes that are not on the Las Vegas Boulevard. If we look at the two routes that are on the Las Vegas Boulevard, we see that we have 35,000 passenger trips per weekday, or boardings per weekday. And they account for 30% of our total transit revenue. So just think about that. We have two routes that are paying for almost a third of our what we call fare box recovery, our ticket sales. That's important because that helps subsidize the rest of our system. As a result of the high ridership, especially that we have on Las Vegas Boulevard, we're considered one of the most efficient transit agencies in the country. So we are number one in terms of our lowest operating cost. We are number one in the country in terms of the lowest subsidy. And we're number one in fare box recovery, the amount that we get through ticket sales. And this is a national transit database. All transit agencies report into this, so it's not our assessment. This is a national assessment. Just to put this into perspective, typical fare box recovery is, for most transit agencies, is around 20 to 30%. So the fact that we're getting almost 52% in our ticket sales to help pay for the bus system is quite remarkable. It's actually a standout system in the country. So now let's talk specifically about this process and what it's going to entail. There are three focal points of onboard. The first is we're going to be looking at our existing transit system, what we call traditional transit. So this is the buses that you see out on the road today. We're also going to look at high-capacity transit options. And when I say high capacity, I'm talking about that next generation of transit. Things like light rail, modern streetcar, bus rapid transit. Think of transit that operates in an exclusive right-of-way and is faster, more reliable than possibly bus services today. And then the other thing we want to look at is emerging transit technologies. We really want to understand what the future holds for transit and how some of those emerging technologies may affect demand both positively and negatively so that when we can plan for those changes. So let me dive a little bit deeper on each one of these. On traditional transit service, we really want to understand from existing transit riders and maybe even those who don't ride transit, where would you like to see more frequent service? Right? Some of our buses operate pretty frequently. They may come every 12 minutes, but in other parts of the valley, they may come only once an hour. And, that's a big difference. If you miss a bus and it comes every 12 minutes, maybe not a big deal. But if you miss a bus and it comes every hour, that's a big deal, right? The other thing we want to understand is, where might there be new areas in the valley that we should serve? Where can we extend existing routes? Where do we want new routes that could better serve our population? And then lastly, where could we have faster service? We have a couple freeway-style routes now. We have the Westcliff Airport Express, the Centennial Express. They operate pretty fast. Actually, I take the Westcliff Airport Express quite frequently out to the west side of town, and I can get home faster on the bus than I can in car because the Westcliff Airport Express hops in the HOV lane, the carpool lane, blows by traffic that's stopped and backed up, and then it's about a 35-minute ride on the bus, and it's about a 40-minute car ride home. High-capacity transit, again, I'm talking about kind of that next generation of transit that we probably don't have here in Las Vegas. And it's this idea of, first of all, we want to understand what the best practices are from peer communities. We're looking at 5 different peer communities. We're looking at Phoenix, Denver, Salt Lake City, what we call our Intermountain West peers. And then we're also looking at locations that have a high visitorship, such as Orlando and San Diego. We want to understand what are they doing that's working, what are they doing maybe that's not working that we can learn from. We also want to identify high-capacity corridors. So what roadways could best serve high-capacity transit? Where will we have the highest demand for this type of service? And where could it function the best to serve the needs of the residents and visitors? And the other thing that's kind of unique about this study is we're not looking at transit in isolation. We're also working with the local jurisdictions, the cities and the county, on future development opportunities. If you've been to Denver, Phoenix, or Salt Lake anytime recently, you've just seen a lot of growth happen around these light rail lines, what we call transit-oriented development. We want to understand those opportunities as we plan this network out. Are there opportunities for what we call mixed-use development, where you have maybe retail, commercial on the first floor, residential on the second floor and above? We're also interested very much in mixed-income housing opportunities as well, that we don't want to displace populations. We want to make sure that existing populations can benefit from this type of development too. And then on emerging transit technology, we want to survey the landscape and we want to understand what's currently out there. We want to understand how that's going to affect demand. There are things that can positively influence demand in terms of technology. So for those of you who aren't aware, we have a new app. You can buy your fare, locate your bus, and plan your trip all on an RTC app. It's a cashless system. You can link it to your credit card. You can buy your pass and show it to the driver, and you're good to go. So that's something that could enhance the transit experience. But then there are possible threats to transit ridership, right? Like Lyft and Uber. It's a lot more convenient to take a Lyft or an Uber than it is to take a bus, but it's maybe more costly, and so we have to understand those trade-offs. We believe there are 6 distinct benefits when it comes to high-capacity transit in particular. First, we think that it makes Southern Nevada a better place to live, work, and play. We believe it contributes to the health and safety of the community. We think that it attracts a talented workforce and makes Southern Nevada more competitive. We believe that it improves the accessibility and mobility of our population. It makes Southern Nevada a better place to visit. And lastly, it boosts the region's economy. And we see these trends across other communities, especially that have this high-capacity transit, and we would experience these benefits to occur here as well. Just to give you a little idea about what this process will entail, it's a pretty complicated scope, but here's the scope boiled down to 4 simple steps. We're currently moving on to the development of alternatives. So we established kind of the purpose and need for the project early in the process that we have to solve for this mobility challenge as our valley continues to grow. Next, I'm going to show you a map in just a second of the alternatives that have been identified by the community. So we're in that step right now. And then we're going to move into the phase of evaluating those alternatives. Which corridors would be best suited for high-capacity transit, this next-generation transit, which could be better served by enhanced bus service. And then ultimately, the plan will wrap up in about a year from now. It's about an 18-month process. So next summer or early fall next year, we hope to be finished with this project. So we went to the community on one of our first public engagement. We said, okay, what corridors should we look at? And the community told us all of them. And we're like, thank you. So this is the map of all the corridors that we're evaluating. It's pretty much every major roadway in the valley we are going to be looking at for potential in high-capacity transit as well as enhanced transit solutions. You'd be hard-pressed to find a road that isn't on this map. So it makes our project a little challenging, but we're up to that challenge. And in order to evaluate that, we're looking at 5 goals. We want to understand, how can we make transit more compelling? How can we improve regional connectivity? How can we encourage responsible development? How can we make Southern Nevada more competitive? And how can we develop sustainable solutions? Under each one of these goals, there are several objectives. Under each of those objectives, there are several measurable outcomes that we're going to test that map against. And that will start to help quantify which corridors would work the best for us. So just to let you know where we are in this process, again, we still have about a year to go. Before I talk about the bullets that are on the screen, if you squint, you can kind of see in the background an image of a bus. This is a pretty exciting new public engagement tool that we have. What we did is we took a retired bus, we stripped out the inside, we put in TV monitors, we have computer stations, we even have a kids' play area in the back so that we can roll this bus up to community events and get feedback from the community on this study. The idea is we don't expect the community to come to us, we go to them to get their feedback on this. And so this is a really important tool for us, and we've been rolling it out at several community events around the community. And I encourage you as well that if you have any events you would like us at, please let myself know or Monica Bertacchi, who's here as well. We'll gladly go out. We've challenged ourselves to do 5 public engagements a week. So that's a pretty ambitious goal, and we're hitting it. Actually, we're averaging about 8 per week right now. So it's either presentations like this or we roll out to community events, whichever the case may be. Like I said before, we're currently evaluating that big map that had 50 lines on it to see which corridors would best work. And then we're also looking at those peer cities, the Salt Lake City, Denver, Phoenix, Orlando, and San Diego. And we're analyzing which of their best practices we could apply here to Southern Nevada. So just as a recap, again, we feel like the underlying need here is that there's going to be tremendous growth in this area, and as a result of that growth, there's going to be increased demand on transportation. The idea is that transit provides one of a universe of solutions, right? So it's not that everyone we expect will take transit if we put in a light rail line, but there are some people that could benefit from that, and it's something for consideration. Thank you to all of you who voted for fuel revenue indexing back in November. That helped take care of a lot of the roadway network. So that's going to generate about $3 billion for roadways. So the roadway network is going to be in pretty good shape. Now we want to have a discussion about transit solutions. And that's what this plan is going to help us identify. It's going to help set a transit vision for us out to the year 2040. So it's 20 plus years of looking forward. And ultimately, we want to hear from you. If you take one thing away with you today, please take this website with you. It's onboardsnv.com. From there, you can access a survey. We currently have over 12,000 people who've completed the survey, and we've heard great information from all sectors of the community, and we want to continue to hear from them. That survey also will morph over time. We're going to ask for different input, and so always check back for this website for more information. We're also uploading a bunch of information related to this study onto this website. So we have briefing books. If you don't know the difference between modern streetcar or light rail, we have a high-capacity transit briefing book that explains all of these concepts in really good detail with a lot of pictures, so you can kind of really wrap your head around what it is we're talking about. All right, so that concludes my presentation. Again, I want to thank you for your time, and do we have time for questions?
Yeah, so our sergeant is going to take the microphone.
Okay.
Follow her.
Okay.
Then follow her.
Okay.
Sir, are you calling me an elephant?
Sunday, 2021. 100,000 people getting on the 15 going back to California. 65,000 people going to Raider Stadium. Help.
So access to Raider Stadium. Is that what I'm hearing? Yep. To and from LA or just locally? Locally, yeah. So one of the things that we did as part of that map, and you probably couldn't see it, but there is the map with all there are dots on this map, and what we're calling these are major activity centers, both existing and proposed. So when we started with the activity centers, we started with looking at universities, medical institutions, things of that nature. But then we also asked our stakeholders, we said, what are the other places we should be looking at? And Raider Stadium was one of the ones that definitely came up. So it's one of these dots here. I think it's the yellow dot since it's not currently built. So it is going to be factored into the equation. Yeah, we're definitely looking at it right now. For those of you who don't know, we are running a specialized service to T-Mobile Arena for Golden Knights games. And so whether that's the solution or whether it's a light rail to the stadium, we're not far enough along in the study to know exactly what the recommendation will be.
So a lot in the media about light rail on Maryland Parkway, which for many of us who have been here a while is a bit of a stretch. Where is that process? Because media portrays it as a done deal.
Yeah, so the question is about Maryland Parkway. We are currently in the environmental assessment phase for Maryland Parkway. So, anytime you have a major transit investment, you have to kind of get it cleared through the Federal Transit Administration and through the U.S. Department of Transportation. And so we are currently moving that process along. And so right now where we're at is trying to figure out what we can afford. Is it light rail or is it bus rapid transit along Maryland Parkway? For those of you that might be scratching your head saying, why would Maryland Parkway be your first bet for light rail? A couple of reasons. One, first, Maryland Parkway has been identified for a high-capacity transit, a next-generation transit, for well over 10 years. And so it's taken us a while to even get the discussion this far along. But Maryland Parkway is an interesting corridor for us because it's one of our highest ridership routes in the valley. If you think about what Maryland Parkway serves, we have McCarran International Airport to the south, we have UNLV, we have Boulevard Mall, we have Sunrise Hospital, we have downtown Las Vegas. Those are major activity centers. Those are major destinations. And it's going to loop over to UMC and the future UNLV Medical School. And you have Valley Hospital there as well. So it's connecting 3 hospitals, 2 university campuses, the airport, and downtown. It hits a lot of the check boxes in terms of what would be a successful route. It also serves a high transit-dependent population. A lot of people use Maryland Parkway to access the casinos. They'll take Flamingo or Tropicana to get to back of house for the staff that works at those casinos. And so it's an important corridor for ridership. So it is moving forward. We're hoping that by the end of this year, we'll have the environmental process phased. We'll be finishing up the environmental process, and there will be a public engagement piece on that. People will be able to comment on it. The thing we're watching right now, quite frankly, is what's happening at the federal level. Typically, a major transit investment like this would be funded by 50% by the federal government. And right now, the current administration hasn't shown where their priority is in terms of these capital investments. And so we're waiting to see what this next budget cycle will bring. If they will, it's called new starts or small starts. A project of this magnitude would be new starts. If they put in funding for that, then it might get some wings and really start moving.
So you're scoping out 10 years, and especially as autonomy and self-driving cars and electric kind of take over the market. Mm-hmm. Coming from metropolis like Minneapolis, St. Paul, typically, and I know due to Las Vegas's unique history, a light rail or an investment like this would start at an airport and then connect all the casinos going everywhere so that you could easily access that transportation. Now, going that's route there, I don't see anything in these schematics for that. Why?
For a connection to the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Maryland Parkway actually would have a connection to the airport. And then, some of the other corridors would as well. We're actually going to be studying the resort corridor, Las Vegas Boulevard, independently of this study. It will feed into it.
Are you saying bus route or are you saying light rail?
Both. I mean, we're going to evaluate both to see which would be the most feasible and which could move forward. But yeah, you're right. I mean, a connection to the airport is probably the biggest destination you would want to serve, right? And so it is definitely something we're working with the airport on. Even today we had a board meeting, and Mayor Goodman asked Tina Quigley, our general manager, about that. And one of our assistant general managers, Fred O'Heaney, said that we just finished negotiations with McCarran International Airport about how we could serve the airport most effectively. Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me pause and smile. Thank you for coming to speak to us, Mr. Photographer. If you could. We would like to give you a Share What You Can award, where we will donate a hot meal to a homeless vet in your name. So, thank you. And I'm sure Raymond and Monica will be available afterwards to answer any of your questions. And then, like I always say, Rotary is like tennis. The one who serves best usually wins. So go forth and make a difference.